Hello! So, in this video we're gonna start off by building the neck. We're gonna do a little bit of wood cutting and getting the neck blanket done. We're only gonna get the base done so that we can then, you know, route a channel and glue on a fretboard. So first off, we need our neck template, and I'm gonna use a headstock design that is mine. I'm gonna go with this one right here for now, but it might not actually be what we're gonna use. So let's find out the perfect spot on this piece of wood for the neck. So we use the template and we look around for it. And I think there might be. Yeah, that's gonna be good. And then I again push it down a little bit, so I have a little bit extra here. And then I put a finger on the other side. And I take a pen and I mark like so. And that's where we're gonna cut it off. So we're gonna start off by cutting that down. So ear protection on. Take our piece of wood, line it up, make sure it is exactly where we want it. Take our saw and we line up the blade. Alright, so here is the blank, and what we need is something to measure this with. Do we? Yeah, we need something. How far down do we want to go? I think if we cut off a centimeter or something down here will be good for a fretboard, because we need to take off a bit, but we also need to keep a bit. Actually, let's make it a little bit more. It's always nice to have too much. So 15 is a bit much maybe, but maybe 12. Yeah, I think 12. Can I find a pen? That's the question. I should be able to find a pen. I have 100 of them. That's my pro tip of the day. Have 100 pens and never know where any of them are. That's always a good thing. So I mark out the same on both ends, like so. You couldn't see me actually do it, but and then find a ruler that is actually long enough. This is why you need to have a bunch of tools if you're gonna do this. Maybe I should have made a video on tools, but I don't know. Maybe in the last Q&A someone asked about tools and I had to answer. So here we have now a line that we can cut. You see the line? I hope you can see the line. And that's just to get the fretboard out. Okay, so now comes the hardest part, and that is I have this line and I have to cut down it. I have it in my vise, which you can't see, it's exactly out of frame. It's just holding the piece of wood. It doesn't really matter, as long as you can do as straight of a cut as possible. You know, the way you do it doesn't really matter. If I had a bandsaw, that would be awesome, but I don't any longer, and it's hard to find a good bandsaw. So I'm gonna cut it by hand. And we'll see if I show you the entire process, but I'm gonna do it this way. It's hardest in the beginning because you have to line everything up and you have to get the cut started. And I'm gonna plane everything, you know, because I don't trust myself to cut something that is 100% perfect. But, you know, 98% perfect, but that's not good enough. But anyway, I started off and I suppose this is what I'm gonna do the rest of my day. Alright, so as you can see, I'm pretty much dead on the line, but I am starting to wander away from the line a tiny bit. I don't know if it's... I mean, can you see that? I mean, if the camera wants to focus, maybe you can see that a little bit. That it's happening a little bit. Well, if you see that you are about to start wandering off from the lines you've made, then instead of sawing straight like this, you flex it like this. Obviously not so much, I'm just showing the video, but flexing it a little bit like this, you can correct yourself. Obviously you have to keep track of the line and make sure you don't wander too much, because if you're off by more than half a mil, it's going to get really hard to start flexing the blade back. But I just wanted to show you this because it's something that I do naturally as I'm sewing, and I just thought it would be good to share that with you. Shit! Alright, next part is cutting this off, and if you put your saw up like this, you'll get the 90 degree. You can follow that. We need this piece of wood right here. This is just the cutoff, but we need that to be as long as the other two pieces that we're going to make soon, to just get our neck blanket out. Something like that. Whew. Good, good, good. Alright, next step is gonna be to cut this in half so that we can inlay the cherry in between. So we need to make a center line to cut down here as well. And this is 67, right? 5, 6, 7, yeah. Okay, let's see if I can do some math, because now I'm really tired. 60 is 33, right? Yeah, and then we have a mil for the thickness of the pen. And we'll just do marks on each side, which I am obviously out of frame for, because I'm always out of frame. And we'll just double check it on the opposite side to see if we're right, and there we are. Super cool, super good, super nice. And we take our ruler, our big giant ruler, and we put it to those two marks. And we hold everything down as nice as we can. And we seem to trail off a little bit because I didn't hold it down as much as I wanted to. No? Ugh. All of a sudden I have issues with pens. Something like that. No, that's not good enough. Ugh. Let's redraw that. See? I told you I was going to make mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes. The only thing is, try to make sure you make your mistakes before you get to the point where you're going to have to throw everything out. It's okay to do a line a little bit wrong. and having to re-sharpen your pen. But it sucks if everything is crooked and weird and the neck is a disaster. So hopefully I make all my mistake in the beginning before I've cut everything out. And yeah, let's redo that. I know this is not how you carve wood, but you know what they say, when in Rome, you're in Rome. Whew. You can also put them down with double-sided tape if you're very unsure. Something like that. Much better. I'm gonna go and take a break, drink some water, because I feel like my hand is starting to get a little bit shaky. I need to. And I'm also gonna measure this again, make sure it's perfect. If it's a little bit off, it's okay, because I have made space for planing and all of that. So we'll see. All right. So time to close this down a little bit. There we go. Now I can cut this again. Are you there? Yeah, you are. Hope you can see it. Here it is. It's gonna cut it. I realize you might think this is a lot of weird work and a lot of something, but it's actually not that bad. It's not that hard. It's, you know, relatively soft wood. It's not like cutting Wenge, for example, which is, you know, I mean, I have a Wenge fretboard here, blank, as you can see. You can imagine how I cut that, and how horribly horrible that was for me to do. So, yeah, let's just get this out of the way. If you cut with your saw like this, it's not that bad. If you cut it straight like this, it's kind of difficult. So you start off cutting like this, and then you can go back, and then you can start cutting down the other way. And yeah, it does take a little bit on your arms, but you know, before you know it, you're done, and you can reward yourself with milkshake. And eventually we'll have to put in a little piece of wood up here to bend them out a little bit. But we'll see if we can't get a little bit further down before. Alright, so here is one piece, and here is one piece, and then sandwiched in between will be this piece of cherry, something like that. And then we'll make a fretboard out of this to put on top. So, what I need to do now is run all of this through my planer and just get it down. As you can probably tell, there's a little bit of a gap, and if everything is 100% perfectly flat and nice, then we can glue them up without any issues. But we'll talk about the gluing up when we get to it, and hopefully we'll do that in this video. Cheesecake one, pop it down. Okay, so let's pull the wood through here and see what happens. Ear protection on, this is going to be loud, and yeah, we'll see what happens. That's basically all I can say about it. Hopefully everything is getting a little bit flatter. This is the way it is sometimes. Ugh. Somewhat annoying because I felt like I was on a roll. Hopefully I can get through that fretboard as well, but maybe I'll have to take a break here and figure this out. I'm gonna take a break here. Never mind. Okay, so the screw holding in the lever thing somehow got loose and popped out, and I have to look for it so I can screw back the handle. Whew, it's probably in all the sawdust, so it's going to be a little bit annoying. So, no fretboard planing today, but it's basically the same planing you just saw me do anyway, so it's not that interesting. But anyway, let's glue these together. Here I have glue, regular wood glue, and here I have my 3 pieces of wood. And since I have this vise here all ready to go, I can do it. Now, here are the pieces of wood and the way they are lined up. Maybe it was something like that. Yeah, you can see the grain, hopefully. It's not perfect any longer, but that's the way it is. So if we flip it over, we can find a new orientation for them. Basically, if we glue them together like this, the wood will go in opposite direction. I hope that makes sense to you. If it doesn't, I'm sorry. But basically, we'll put these here, and yeah, we'll just see if we can get some glue on them. Ah, come on, get out of there. We'll put down some wood glue. Something like that, not too much, not too little, and put this lid back on. Take a scrap piece of wood and just smear out the wood. I mean the glue on the wood, not smear out the wood. That would be weird if we could do that. And try to get an even coating. Or at least somewhat of an even coating, because I should have gone with a better piece of wood. Something like that. You can use one of those rollies if you have one. I do have one, I just it's so dirty right now because I've been using it for other things. That I probably can't use it. But there we are. Except for having some glue on my fingers, that's pretty okay. Now you can put that there, and let's hopefully see if we can align these so that this is getting sandwiched in between in a nice and neat way. It doesn't have the exact same thickness, so I'm not gonna go overboard on it, but something like that is probably good. And I'll just give it a light clamp, and I'll adjust these pieces. Everything is a little bit oversized, which I think I've told you. So now that is pressed into place, we can get some more clamps, and we can just clamp that down, and not over tightening them, but just enough so that we feel the pressure. And the more clamps you have, the better, obviously, but you know, 8 clamps or something will be good enough, I think. Obviously I have this whole thing pressing in the middle, and it's way stronger than any other clamps I have. So yeah, there we go. So I don't necessarily need 8 clamps. I'm gonna start off with these clamps that I'm putting on here right now, and we'll just go from there. Yeah, something like that. I'm gonna put on some more clamps. Give me a sec. Okay, so here, where am I? There I am. There we have it. Bunch of clamps. We're gonna have to let it dry. Preferably 24 hours. We'll see. I have some other things to do, some work on the body, so we'll just see what happens in the next part. I don't know. I'm gonna take a break now at least. Sort out the planer a little bit. And yeah. We'll see. Let's go into the Q&A. Bye-bye. It's time for the Q&A. Yeah. So, did we get any questions for the Q&A? No, not really. Oh, what do you mean, not really? None at all? What? No questions at all? No one is wondering what the hell I'm doing? No, everyone seems to be on board. They think that what you're doing makes sense and that it's the logical way things would be made. But that doesn't make any sense at all. No. But I suppose, you know, you're an idiot. And idiots are watching you. Therefore they can't tell that you're an idiot. Oh. That doesn't seem very nice, though. It's not nice. But it also doesn't have to be nice. Because, you know, it's a sort of blind leading the blind sort of situation. And no matter what I say, you're all blind. Oh. Well, is there anything I should say to them? At all? No, not really. I mean, except, you know... What? Stay awesome and... Oh, right. Stay cool. Stay awesome and cool.